whenever Mike calls me, I figure there must be something important, something, something in the industry, something in our company, something we need to know about, something we need to discuss, or something big in the news, or something that means a lot to him. And both of those were the case yesterday. And I want to let you have a shot at this. This is about 15, 20 seconds of this, because from your direction, and I value your direction in immersing myself in things that I'm just not paying as much attention. You were fresh off watching the victim impact statements in the Kohberger case. Here's like 15 second. One of those beautiful, beautiful kids murdered by this monster was Kaylee Goncalves. Here is her dad right to his face in court yesterday.
You were that careless, that foolish, that stupid. Master degree. You're a joke.
And many, many more people saying many, many more things.
Well, and in fact, all these families lined up, and basically every single person managed, and this took hours. Yep. Every single person. And so, by the way, before we continue, can I remind everybody, because we haven't talked about this for a while. Mm-hmm. Thanks to the great efforts of Christian Russell on our team, we stream every one of the M&M experiences live on X. So if you follow us at Gallagher Show, you'll get to see the wild, gesticulating facial expressions of Mark Davis.
You'll see Mike's earphone cord pop out as he looks at me stunned as if I'm not saying anything.
I'll have a John Kennedy moment. I'll have a John Kennedy moment once in a while where I just freeze up. And did you see that, by the way?
No, poor guy. The Louisiana senator?
Oh, my gosh.
One of the funniest, wisest, quickest guys. What happened to him?
He's giving an interview to Fox News the other day, and I guess he had an IFB pop out or whatever. Well, he stops talking, and it looks like a Mitch McConnell moment. He just froze. And everybody thought, uh-oh, John Kennedy is in his 70s. Is he freezing? It was a technical thing. These things happen. But anyway, I want to remind you, because it's fun to watch as well as listen to us. So if you're by a computer or your smartphone, you want to watch the M&M experience, we stream it live every single day at Gallagher Show. If you were half the man you used to be, Mark, you'd post it on your thing, too.
I'm retweeting it right now. Get off my back.
All right, so good.
Moses, man.
So because you got more popularity there than I do. At Mark Davis or at Gallagher Show.
Freshly retweeted. There you go. Everybody can watch us now from the watch the magic right now.
We can watch. You can see our snarly faces at each other. So anyway, basically every single family member for hours sat there and ripped into this monster. This is a case that absolutely fascinates me. It's so ghastly. Last night, now that he's been sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms, they released a lot of the details that they had not released previously. One of the young ladies was so badly butchered, her face was left unrecognizable. They didn't even know who she was. This is what this monster did to these 4 kids, and I want to know why. I want to understand this. They revealed that he had no connection to them whatsoever. Yep. This is the absolute typical quintessential boogeyman story. He targeted these kids. There were 6 of them in the house. 2 of the others kind of slept through it.
Because they were ripped out of their minds.
I know. Alcohol played a big role in all this. I suspect, and I don't want to disparage the dead, college kids drink, so it's not really a disparagement, but I suspect that the reason he overpowered the 4 kids that he killed because they were drunk. Yeah. They were all drunk. And I guess, because the boy was 6'4". I mean, he's a strong, big guy, and yet he was overtaken by this guy.
If somebody is stabbing you in your sleep, maybe your response is not as crisp as it might otherwise be.
But don't you think 5 other people might be able to come to your rescue? It's a weird story on every level, Mark, but here's what people felt was closure. One of the messages, and I put a lot of thought into whether we should air this. I got approval from the company to air it. It's obviously, this is PG-13, but one of the family's youngest daughters, the young sister of one of the murder victims, wanted to relay a message through her mother during the victim impact statement. And you got a picture, Kohberger is sitting there the whole time, kind of clenching his teeth, just staring at them, blinking at them in his orange jumpsuit. But here was what the mother said is going to be Bryan Kohberger's life now that he's going to be spending the rest of it in prison.
Quick message from our youngest daughter. Aubrey wanted to say, you may have received A's in high school and college, but you're going to be getting big D's in prison.
Okay.
Wow. Now,
hello.
no commentary needed there, but there's no need to even analyze that. But nonetheless, that's how it went for hours. One said, if my sister hadn't been overpowered by you in the middle of the night, like the pedophile you are, she would have kicked your blanking blank.
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
All right, a word about this, and it is the kind of counterintuitive thing that people have come to expect in our get-together. There, two things. I have over the years absorbed a lot of victim impact statement, and there's a visceral level at which I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the loved ones cannot be brought back, but if these people can just eviscerate him and tear him limb from limb rhetorically with their words there in the courtroom, who would deny them that? There is something that is gutturally satisfying about it. I get it, and yet I don't know why we do it. It is pure theater. It achieves nothing.
It's closure, Mark.
Judicially.
It's closure for the families.
This might be devil's advocate, which I say I don't do, but maybe this is it. The sentence is closure. The closure I wanted was him executed, and the government cut a deal so that we don't have a big trial. Right. The trial would have been painful, and I guess who am I to not be okay with something that I guess is okay for? You know what though? Trials and verdicts and things like this, they're not for victims' families alone. In fact, they're not for victims' families first and foremost. They're for the public. Justice is for
the community.
Society.
Yeah,
Doesn't society deserve to see this guy executed? This is wholly unsatisfying to know that this monster will get 3 hots on a cot for decades.
I know, and he'll do book deals, and he'll do a movie deal,
but
and
he won't
give an interview.
I guess but he won't make a dime because I think that'll all go.
Well, I don't care what he makes. He's going to try to stay. He's going to stay relevant. Whereas if he got the needle, he wouldn't.
Correct.
He'd be gone.
And so help me be more okay than I am with victim impact statements. I guess it's just a bone we throw to people. It is not. It's pure theater. It's like
it's not pure theater. Stop saying that. It's way more than theater.
Help me.
Because look, this guy got away with not having to even speak a full sentence. The most he's ever said now in court is, "I respectfully decline." That's all he has said.
I know.
He hasn't spoken. He hasn't had any interaction with these families.
Yeah.
They have not been able to tell him off. The one father said, "I would love to just lunge across the table and go at you right now. I'd love 5 minutes."
You're pathetic, and you thought you were so
but it's
smart
not for us.
Nothing but scum.
But it's not for us, Mark. It doesn't matter if you loved it or not. It's what the father appreciated, and the
is
closure.
That what our system is about? Is giving grieving people an opportunity to get their yayas out in public.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
I know.
Why not? Give them that. Give them that much. In fact, many of the families gave interviews afterwards saying, yes, now I feel I was able to tell him off. I was able to let him know what a piece of scum he is.
Absolutely. I don't.
And he was invited. And one of the fathers said, I made eye contact with him. He was enraged at having to go through that. Look, this guy clearly is some kind of a psychopath, sociopath, narcissist. He thought he didn't have to have any This was accountability to some degree, Mark.
It was. And I'm a fan of accountability, obviously. And there is a certain street justice accountability to mouthing off to this guy. So you're right. I will suspend. And it's not that I'm not trying to do away with victim impact. There's just always been something about it. Kind of went. Now,
it's a little bit. It makes it. And I'll play devil's advocate too. Although I do disagree with you, but it's almost like I've always felt that way about the perp walk. The perp walk is pure theater. When they take somebody, but why? Why do they do it?
I guess it's like it's
the same
visibility.
Thing.
It's transparency. It's like
it's the same thing. It's accountability. Look at this bad guy. But many of the perp walks are conducted on innocent people. There are innocent people who've had to go through a perp walk.
Exactly.
Look at
the other thing. Go ahead. Who's the best example? Who's the best innocent perp walk example?
I was just thinking about the Russia collusion thing. Look at what they did to Peter Navarro. They arrested him, put him in shackles in the airport. Roger Stone. They've done perp walks to innocent people.
100%. So the other thing is, and here's a question you have and I have, we all have, I want to know why he did this. What was his motivation? What was that? You'll never get it because there is no such answer coming. Evil exists, and it doesn't explain
but he had a
itself
reason.
always.
But he had a reason.
He had a reason. How do you know, and what might it be? How do you know?
So everybody has a reason to do something.
I know, but
I mean, there's something something compelled him to say, I'm going to sneak into this house in the middle of the night and butcher these kids. And I want to know what it is. I want to know if he would.
There is a devil. There is.
Well, I know that he's the devil. He's evil.
There are dark forces. They exist, and when they manifest themselves, and in all of us, this is a little theological, but all of us have to have our shields up at all times to keep the enemy from tempting us to cheat on our taxes or cheat on our wives or steal a candy bar or
but if you cheat on your taxes, you can say, why did you do that? Well, I wanted to save money because I owed money and I wanted to buy a house. I want a reason. I want to know why. You don't just go into a house and say, now I'm going to slaughter these 4 kids.
Evil takes many shapes.
And he's described as an incel. That's a popular phrase now.
Involuntary celibate. Yeah.
Involuntary celibate. He was rejected by women. He hated women. He hated young. One of them, there was one of the girls that he particularly butchered. He stabbed her over 50 times, evidently. Was she the target? And the others were, secondary collateral damage. That's what I want to know in his twisted mind. I
totally understand. And I just don't know if that answer will, in some cases, that answer will. I remember the Darlie Routier case in the 90s where a woman, butchered her kids. And it was,
I know.
Why? It said,
Susan
I wrote a column
Smith.
Drove into a lake.
Drove the kids into the lake in South Carolina. But here's the thing.
Evil exists, and sometimes that's the only answer you'll get.
And let's go back to your point. I got a great conversation with one of my favorite people in the world, Pat Boone, the legendary singer, philanthropist. Pat is 91 years young. And you know what? He's in better shape than you and I.
Yeah.
He is in, and so Pat and I talked about a philanthropic effort he's involved in right now. There's a new song out that he's done to benefit kids who need well water in Tanzania. But here's what he and I talked about: a lot of things. We talked about politics. He is not a liberal Democrat. I love me some Pat Boone. And he and I talked about the ongoing conflict between good and evil in all of our lives, and how the left, he even acknowledged it, the left doesn't like to identify evil. They don't think evil exists. We know it does. And so here's, by the way, if you want to see this and hear this great chat with him, we spent a half hour. Pat Boone, it's the latest Mike Gallagher Show podcast. Check it out, MikeOnline.com. I think we'll have it posted.
Do you know what Pat would have bent your ear about for a few minutes yesterday?
What he would have been what?
What Pat Boone?
Oh, we talked about Ozzy Osbourne. He was Ozzy Osbourne's next door neighbor,
and it was his theme. It was his,
that's right.
Going off the rails on
Crazy
Train. It was his song because Pat Boone did a '90s-ish album called "In a Metal Mood."
That's
where
right.
Pat brought his, "Hey everybody" to a lot of metal songs. It was hilarious, but catchy as all get out, and just a wonderful, wonderful.
And
man.
he explained that he wasn't Ozzy as his next door neighbor. He says, I can confirm. He was not the Prince of Darkness. That was a shtick. That was his act. He was the Prince of Kindness. Yeah. And I saw reports yesterday that he has accepted Christ as his Savior prior to his passing, which is the best news of all. But check out my conversation with Pat Boone, MikeOnline.com, the Mike Gallagher Show long-form podcast.
We just did. So we asked everybody to watch us. And so if you're watching or listening, here is something that will happen. Mike and I will launch into something. We will bog down deliciously for 10 to 12 minutes and say precisely nothing about the top news of the day, which is Tulsi and Obamagate. That's why God made tomorrow. We'll be fine. But
we'll get to it all. We're going to get to all of this.
And on your own show, obviously, will be festooned with details on that. But every once in a while on M&M, it is about us and stuff we care about.
I mean, sometimes you got to take a break from all the other gloom and doom, and we talk about stuff. We haven't even gotten to the Jacksonville police arrest. Let's try to do that tomorrow, too, because that's a huge story. All right, happy Thursday, my friend.
Happy Thursday, and Mike is ready to go with more time where he can cover all the stuff that needs to be covered. 10 o'clock, as soon as we're done, right here on 660 AM.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.